Hello, welcome to Cracking the Cryptic. What's going on here in this weird corner of the internet, you may wonder? Well, two of us record videos every day solving a Sudoku puzzle, a variant Sudoku puzzle with extra rules, and you will see how that goes if you watch any of the videos. What we do is we receive in submissions from all over the world. People send us somewhere between 8 and a dozen puzzles a day, and we select one, often with the help of our testers, to showcase on the channel in both Simon's video that goes out earlier and my video which comes out later each day, and we talk you through the logic of our solves. That's what's going on here. We use a notation method that's worth quickly mentioning, where sometimes we will put numbers in the corner of cells. That would mean that one can only be in those two cells in box 5, for instance. And sometimes we put numbers in the center of cells, and those would mean that the only candidates for those two cells are 1 and 2. So that's the notation system. We find it helps with solving these puzzles logically. We will explain the rules of the puzzle before we do it, and here we are. I mean, welcome. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos in our archive. Even though we've only been going for 5 years, we have been doing 2 puzzles a day for the last basically 3 years. So that is a fair number of puzzles. And every 5 days or so, I do a burst of genuinely approachable Sudoku. So if you want to feel your way into how the puzzles work, those gas videos are great ones to start with. Today though, I'm going to be looking at a puzzle that was sent to us by Cam Dennis. Cam featured in our first book with one of the earliest puzzles in the book, I think, a rather brilliant grade your ability puzzle where you put 1, 2 or 3 in a certain cell, and the puzzle solved differently and more difficultly with each ascending digit, assuming I'm remembering right. Now, talking of brilliance, this setup is absolutely fantastic. Cam's called the puzzle Farfalle, and you can see that the Bowtie pasta is represented in the shape. Now, there's a strange dichotomy about my putting this into the software. Very, very few puzzles, almost none ever that I can remember, could I remember the whole puzzle to put it in the software without looking. But this one I could, because the setup is so simple. It's astonishing that there is a unique solution given the rules and the lack of markings. But those shapes were very easy to remember, and where the 2 thermos in the puzzle go. However, despite the fact that I could remember exactly what to put in the software, it took me ages to create this, to find a way of representing the arrow going over the thermo up here. Anyway, we've done it in the end, hurrah. So, when you look at the description field, you will find links to all the things connected with the channel, like our apps, which have hundreds of these of these types of puzzle, and are great fun to work your way through. Like our merchandise, where you can buy Cracking the Cryptic t-shirts or hats or hoodies or whatever, with either Cracking the Cryptic or our catchphrases on. And we also have a Discord site associated with the channel that you can get to. There's a wonderful community of some 20,000 odd people chatting away about the sorts of puzzles we do, especially. What else have we got? We've got our Patreon site, where in 2 days' time we will be launching J. Dyer's Modifiers Hunt. It's absolute numerical alchemy. It's fantastic. It really is absolutely fantastic. I had an absolute binge on testing puzzles last night and got 3 of them done. They're monstrously clever, just brilliant. And this is on top of having released a Fistamafel hunt just before Christmas. The deadline on that is the 10th of January, so you've still got time to get your heads around the absolutely brilliant Fistamafel hybrid Sudoku puzzles. That's all on Patreon. Do join us there. Support the channel if you can. $2 or $3 a month. It's not much to ask, but we do ask it, and we have thousands of very generous sponsors there. Thank you very much. So the first link, that's what I was working up to. The first link under the puzzle will take you to this puzzle, and you can play it in our software if you click on that link. It's called Farfalle by Cam Dennis. The rules are these. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means 1 to 9. Those numbers must go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box of the puzzle. Now, identical digits cannot be a knight's move apart, so you couldn't have the same digit in those two cells, and that's quite unusual Sudoku rule. It's easy to forget. I often do that. We'll see how often and if that happens today. Digits along thermometers, that's the green ones in this puzzle, increase from the bulb. So we could put a 1 there and a 4 there and an 8 there, say, and they would be increasing from the bulb. We have 2 thermometers. Digits along arrows sum to the number in the attached circle. So those 3 digits add up to make the number there, and they could include repeat digits if the normal rules of Sudoku allow that. Thermometers can't. They have to increase as they go. So those are the rules. Feel free to give the puzzle a try. You may be able to judge from the video length how hard it is. I don't know yet because I haven't made the video or tried the puzzle. So let's restart my clock and let's get cracking. And I mean, the beauty of this puzzle is there is nothing here. There is nothing in the grid. There are just 4 arrows, 2 tiny thermometers. I tell you, the knight's move is going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting, and that's kind of the reason I think I probably won't forget it in this puzzle, because it's going to matter from step 1. Right, the thermo, obviously this thermo is a whole arrow, and the numbers on it must be different, because that's one of the rules of thermos. They have to increase. The first one, I don't think it could actually be a 3. It can only be 1 or 2. And it can only just be 2, because numbers increasing would go 2, 3, 4 at an absolute minimum from 2. And that would give the maximum single cell digit of 9. So that is 1 or 2. Actually, this can't even be 4. If that was a 4, this would be at least a 5, and the total of the thermo would get up to at least 10, and we can't put a 10 in there. So 1 or 2 there, 2 or 3 there. Unfortunately, this can now be 3, 4, 5 or 6, I think, to get us up to a total of 6, 7, 8 or 9. Now, what the heck? I mean, is that... There must be more we can do, but it's very hard to see. We've got to deploy this knight's move thing. Okay, now I have seen this shape before. So this shape of cells on these, well, on these arrows this time. This is very interesting. Oh, purple's not a great colour. It obscures the grey line background. Let's... green is better. Okay. Now, the reason I've highlighted these cells is because I have a theory. I think when we've seen this before, we've worked out that yellows can't contain repeat digits. That's not possibly true. That's interesting. Okay, let's just have a look at these yellow cells. This cell cannot repeat in here because of it's in the same box, normal Sudoku rules. Here because it's in the same column. Here because it's in the same row. So each of the 3 normal Sudoku rules stops those being the same as that digit. And the knight's move stops both of those being the same. So that digit can't repeat anywhere in yellow. Yeah, I see. But these cross a box border, those 2 could be repeats. And those 2 could be repeats. I don't think any of these other digits, that digit sees all the other 6. But those could be repeats. I don't think they could repeat anywhere else. Ah, okay. Okay, so it's the green set that are more important now, I think. Because the thermo can't have any repeats. This is it. This is how we get into this. We must have a repeat in green. If we didn't, the minimum total of the 6 digits that would include no repeats is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 21, which would have to be the same as the total of these two cells, but they cannot add up to 21. The maximum they could be, being in the same column, is a 9 and an 8. Therefore, there must be a repeat digit, and there is only one place there can be a repeat digit in green, and that's here. So let's just leave those as green. Those are a repeated digit, because we have to have a repeated digit to keep the total here down, and that's the only place we can have a repeated digit. There's no repeats on the thermo, so those two cannot be repeats in the way that those two can be repeats on the right side. So these are repeat digits. Now, what are they? I think if you repeated a 3, that would be too much. You'd have 3, 6. Oh no, hang on. Then you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 16. Why did I think? It was because of the total of 21. I thought that was going to mean we had to have a repeat 1 or 2. I just want to think about this a bit more, actually. What is the repeat digit? If it's a repeat 1, this has to be 2, 3, 4, adding up to 9. If it's a repeat 2, that has to be a 1. And that has to be a 3. Ah, this can't be... Oh, maybe it could be. Can it be a repeat 3? No, it can't. For a weird reason, actually. I don't know. Is it that weird? I think if this was a repeat 3, that would have to be a 1 or a 2. And then neither of these could be whatever that was, or a 3. That is true. And a repeat 4 won't work, because that would make that a 1, so that we'd keep this down to 9. And then you'd have 2, 3, and 4, and that would be 9. I mean, the 4 would also repeat. So I think green has to be a repeat 1 or 2. And it's different from this cell, which we'll call purple. I just want to check that 3s don't work. If those were 3s, that would have to be 1 or 2. It couldn't be 3 anymore. It'd have to be 1 or 2 to keep this down to 7 or 8. If that was 1 or 2, whatever it was couldn't be in those cells, and nor could 3, which would be sitting here. So they couldn't both be under 4. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so those are a repeat digit 1 or 2. That is the other digit 1 or 2. This sees them both there, and therefore must be a 3. This is bigger than 3. And if that's a 3, this can't be 6 anymore. This now has an absolute minimum of 8, 1, 3, 4. But it could be 1, 3, 5 or 2, 3, 4, making 9. This one, well, this can't be 1 or 2 because it sees both of them, and it can't be 3. It can't be whatever that is. I think it could be, if those were double 1, it has to be different from that. Now, what do they add up to in total? Say they were 1s. 1 and 1 is 2, and 2 is 3. Sorry, it takes us up to 4, plus 3 is 7. If this was 4 and 5, and they can't be the same, we'd be up to 16. We're on an absolute minimum of 16 between these cells. So in fact, well, I don't know what that does to that. I'm going to leave it as 4, 5, 6, 7 for now. Now, can we carry this across to this side? We must have some repeat digits because otherwise we're adding up to 21. But, oh, this digit sees both colours of 1 and 2, so that's not a 1 or a 2. This sees the 3. Well, I don't know. Oh, hang on. I think that means these can't repeat now. That's exciting. Yeah, it does. It does. If that was a 4... This can't be a 3. Sorry, why can't these two be repeats? And this is quite exciting now to me. That can't be a 3. This can't... Look, let's start again. Those cells both see that one. This by knight's move, that by direct action. And they are both flavours of 1 and 2. So that can't be 1 or 2. Now, if this was a repeat digit, let's just leave them as yellow. If yellow was a repeat digit... It couldn't be 3 because you can't make that a 3 because of that cell. If, therefore, the only thing it could be is a 4, that would give you 4, 4 here. To keep that down to a single digit, this would become a 1. But this would have become a 5 because that's a 4. And this will become a 2 because that's a 1. And now this lot adds up to 10. And that's too many. So this is not a repeat digit in yellow. Bingo. Therefore, the repeat digit, which must exist on this 6-cell hexagon, is there. That's the only other place you can get a repeat. So that is the repeat on this side. Now that might be 3, or 1, or 2, I reckon. If it was 4, you'd get a 1 here. Green would be 2. That would be 9, so you'd get a 5 here. I don't know, I'm not going to rule out that it's a 4 yet, but it is a repeat. Oh, I see. Yes, okay. This is, I think my brain saw this round this side, and I didn't follow through on it. If there's only one repeat in these 6 digits, then there are 5 different digits and the repeated digit. The 5 different digits have to add up to the minimum total for 5 different Sudoku digits, which is 15. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Then you add on the next, the repeat digit, and that has to be 1 or 2. That was a simpler way of finding out that green had to have a repeat of 1 or 2, and now I've found out that yellow has to repeat 1 or 2. Yellow is clearly the other digit because they both see those cells, so yellow is purple. In fact, let's make purple yellow because you can see the lines better through it. There we go. So green is one flavour of digit, yellow is the other of 1 or 2. That is the repeat digit. Now, whichever side the 2's are on, the other digits in the hexagon are 1, 3, 4, 5. And that keeps it down to 17. But 17 is the minimum for the side with the 2's on. 2 and 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 4 is 12, plus 5 is 17. That's the minimum. Whichever side has the double 2 on has 1, 3, 4, 5, and these add up to 17. That's not a 7. This is definitely a 9, 8 pair. Now, this is either 8 or 9. And the pair of greens is either adds up to 2 or 4. And the pair of yellows either adds up to 2 or 4. So to make 9, you're going to need either 7 or 5. To make this 4, 5, 6, 7 still looks right. That's irritating. Right, this lot's going to need a green one on because it's going to have to, there's no repeat digits on this, we've worked that out, and it's going to have a low digit. A really low digit, a 1 or a 2. And yellow now cannot be in any of these cells because they all see these cells. So it's got a green digit on somewhere. Well, in one of those two, because it's not in this cell, which sees both low digits. So one of those is green, but only one. There's no repeats. The other two digits are at least 3 and 4. They must include a 3. So one of these two is a 3, and the other one is from 4 or 5. Oh, it doesn't have to be here. It could be here. Yeah, because we're either adding 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4. We're not using 1 and 2. That's the point here. So I don't know whether that's 8 or 9. I wonder if there's a way. Actually, I'm just having a little think now. Where does green go in this box? That's quite interesting. Green by Sudoku can't go there. By Knight's Move it can't go there. Because of the circle marking it can't go there. By Knight's Move it can't go there. But green is in one of those two cells, and they both see that cell. This one directly, that one by Knight's Move. So green can't go here either. So green ends up in box 2 in one of those two places. Yellow does the same sort of thing, doesn't it? Yellow can't be there from that cell. It can't be there from that cell or there. So it's in one of those two places. And this digit is also up here because that cell sees all of those, and that one actually. So let's make that red. And this is now a set of red, green and yellow, which are 1, 2 and either 8 or 9. So that's a quadruple. That's so weird. So the only place left for 3 in this box, 3 can't go in any of those cells. Those by regular Sudoku moves, and that because it's on the thermo, it has to ascend. 3 now has to go here in box 2. Isn't that brilliant? Isn't that absolutely astonishing? Cam Dennis is some kind of a Sudoku god or genius, and what he's created here is absolutely fascinating. Now, these are from 4, 5, 6 and 7 now. Now look, all of those cells all see that cell. This is the genius of Knight's Move, because that cell sees it, those see it just obviously on the horizontal. So that can't be 4, 5, 6 or 7 or 3. So it's 1, 2, 8 or 9. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's not helpful, but it's really interesting. Yellow has to be in one of those two cells because yellow is there and in one of those two, and that one says it can't be here. Green, don't know. Ooh, hang on. That can't be green. That can't be green. No, I don't know. One of those 3 is green. Oops. One of those 3 in box 1 is green. We're getting slight mismatches now. Now, which of these is green? The trouble is I don't know. It doesn't. That one would prevent that being green, but that one wouldn't have any impact at all. Okay, can I work out which of these is 8 and which is 9? That might be a helpful thing to do. Otherwise, I'm just really faffing around in the long grass, I think. How? Okay, what happens? Let's say this is 8, which is more restricted. Then you get a 1, 1 and a 2, 2. Here and here, you get a 4, 6 pair. And this becomes 9. Oh, it's not. Yes, I see. Actually, whether this is 9 or 8. this red cell. These can't be repeats, these little hat shapes. Can't be repeating the same 3 numbers. I think that means this can't be 8, actually. If this was an 8, that would be 1, 3, 4 up here. What would that cell be? There's no repeats, remember. We've worked that out on this line. So once there's a 3 on it, if that was 8, this would be 3, 1, 4. You'd have a 1, 4 there clashing with that cell. That can't be 8. Brilliant. That's the 9. That's the 8. Red is a 9, so that's a 1, 2, 9 triple. Wow, that's mental. Okay. Has that resolved anything? Well, it's resolved the... Okay, yes, it has. These add up to an even number. That is even. That is even. 4 or 6 as well. Now, this could be 2... Yeah, one of these is... These are different. That's the whole point. One of them is 2, 3, 4, and one of them is 1, 3, 5. I don't know which is which. That's really annoying. So these are from 1, 2, 4, and 5. If... these can't both have a 4. Sorry, that's not the way of saying that. They can't both have a 4, but one of them is a 4. Because if that is a 6, this is a 1, 1 pair, and that's a 2. And then that's a 4. So one of these two is a 4. Is that... I mean, it's... There are various cells like that one. Oh, hang on. In this row, we've got a 4, 6 pairs. Okay, these remaining cells are 3, 5, 7, and 8. But that sees that, and it can't be 3. That 8 sees both of those. So that's quite restricted. Oh, that 8 also sees all of these places. So we get an 8 in one of those two. That 3 sees all... Well... It can't be in the 9 cell. So 3 is going to be in one of those places. That's not a 9. I shouldn't have left that in as a possibility. 1, 2, 9, 3, 8. Don't know enough about 4s and 6s and the like, really. Maybe I should track yellow around the grid or something. I don't know. Seems a bit weird. Now, one of those two is green. Do I know which? I don't think I do know which. That's so annoying. Okay, come on. Think again, Mark. Think again. We've got 3 up there. We've got 9, 1, 2, 3, 8. So these are from 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's not that interesting, I don't think. Can I decide which one? I don't think there's any way of deciding. Maybe if that was a 4, so these were 2s, then that has to be a 5. So if that's a 4, this is a 4-2 pair. And they both see that, but that's a 6 anyway. 1, 1, 6, 2, 4. Oh, am I being slow here? I don't know. Is there something obvious? I suppose this yellow can't be... Well, it can't be there by Sudoku, actually. And green can't be there. That's not that interesting, is it? Yellow ends up in one of those cells. That's quite a wide variety. Ah, yellow over here is in one of those two. Hadn't seen that. Green, not so obvious. One of those three. Because we haven't got it sussed out there yet. Sorry, I'm flailing around a bit here. Oh, hang on. These threes, they all see that cell, so that can't be a 3. Nor can that. I don't know. 3's in one of those. I'm not going to pencil mark all of those. No, not interesting. Ah, these two yellows. They both see those cells. So if you had a yellow there, you couldn't put yellow in either of those, including the knight's move. Same for that. Therefore, none of these are yellow. Obviously, these aren't yellow because yellow is there. So yellow's going to end up in one of those positions. But basically, it's quite a lot of places yellow can't be in row 7. It now can't be in any of those. If it is in one of those, it's creating a bit of impact. I don't know. Can I narrow green down up here? I don't think I can, weirdly. Oh, come on. I need to do some serious thinking. 6 and 7 have to be in that set. Okay. Whatever 4 or 5 this is, it is different from the 4 or 5 in these cells. Because that is a set of, well, one of these is a 1, 3, 5 set and the other is a 2, 3, 4. So the 5 or 4 there is different from the 4 or 5 here. But both of those cells see that cell, and so does that. So both 4 and 5 are looking at that cell, and that is 6 or 7. Which is really, really interesting and quite clever, but actually doesn't really do anything for us, does it? Okay, let's colour 4s and 5s then. So there's a blue one there. Let's say there's a purple one here. And I'm aware that my contrasts are not very good between green and yellow and blue and purple. In terms of colourblind, I'm sorry. But it's partly to be able to distinguish the background. Okay, let's make it blue and orange at least. There we go. So, blue 4 or 5 is there. Orange 4 or 5 is here. Oh, but orange 4 or 5 is in one of these cells. So that is not orange 4 or 5. That is orange 4 or 5. That is 1 or 2 and is green. And this is not green, this is orange. Okay, that's something. That's something learnt. That green is looking at that cell, which becomes yellow. That's not yellow, that's red and is 9. That's not 9 or red, it is green. These now are not green. That is green and is 1 or 2. Green is now in one of those two. This has helped. This has helped. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. That is not 1 or 2. It is 8 or 9. Am I going to... Oh, no, it's not 9. Not by the knight's move. Not by a long chalk. We get an 8 there. We've got an 8 somewhere up there. Come on. Let's keep going. Yes, 9 in this box has to be here because that sees 2 9s by knight's move. I was going to say it sees that cell, but it does not. That is a lie. 9 in this row, though, can't be there by knight's move. It's there. Let's keep making the 9s red just for fun. Not sure what that's really... Yeah, okay, that's doing something here. That 9 does see all of these cells, so 9 now is in one of those two. And that is 9 in row 5. Yes, sir. And one of those two is a 9 now. And one of these 3 is a 9 now. I reckon. But 9 can't be in those cells because of the thermo, which is finally doing something here. So one of those is a 9. Okay, I've marked all remaining possible positions for 9, I think, now. That's a shame, because that was getting quite interesting. I think I've run out of gas a bit there. Right, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7 up here as the remaining fills in. But this is seeing both flavours of 4, 5 in the row. In fact, that is also a 6 or 7. Oh my goodness, I'm about to have to start colouring 6s and 7s as well. Oh, that one is definitely 9. Right. 4 and 5 must be up here. So blue 4 or 5 is in one of those 2 cells, along with yellow 1 or 2. So what does that tell us? Not a... Yeah, it does. It does. This must be seeing both flavours of 4 and 5, mustn't it? They're all trapped in those 3 cells. So that can't be 4. That is 6. And that's telling us plenty. That is telling us what yellow is. Yellow is 1. And green is therefore 2. And those are not 2. That's part of a 1, 4, 5 triple. We can finish off these sums. That's a 4. That's a 5. This is a 4. Orange is 4. Blue is 5. I haven't coloured almost any other of those. That's annoying. 1, 5 pair there. They're both looking at that cell, so that's not a 5. Has this got resolved? No. This, no. Bother. Those don't have a 5 in, of course. Orange 4 is in one of those too. Wow, this is fascinating. Why have I written 1, 2? Oh, because I should have written 2. In fact, I should have put it in one of those cells. I don't know quite why I did that. I think that was when I didn't know what green was. Okay, that's all right now. Bad pencil marking, but resolved now. 3, 7 or 8. These are... Oh, that can't be a 3 by knight's move. 3, 6, 7 or 8. There. Now, what about this central box? I haven't really done anything. This can't be. 1, 8, 9, 5 or 3 or 2. That is 4, 6 or 7. Oh, 4 is orange, actually. That might help. That's not 4. That doesn't help. It doesn't reach either of those cells. It does mean orange is in one of those 2 as well as in one of those 2. 4 is not in those cells, so it's in one of these. Hang on, 2 is in one of those as well. Green. These are... Red is 9, green is 2, and 4 is orange. So these are green, red, and orange. These are 2, 4, and 9, aren't they? Wake up, man. So that's not 2, that's not 4, that's not 9. That's a triple. So these are part of a quadruple of 3, 5, 7, and 8. Oh, hang on. 8 is in one of these cells. So 8's not there. And 8 is not there by knight's move. So we've got 8 in box 4. There it is. Right. So this is a 3, 5, 7 triple. We've got 8 in box 6. That's not 8 in the corner. This 3, 5, 7 triple, look what they all see. They all see that cell. So it's not a 7. That's lovely. 6 or 4 there. Now, what am I missing? I bet I'm missing something that's been thrown up by all the work that we've done lately. I don't know, it's a bit difficult to see though, isn't it? So, 3's in one of those, 8's in one of those. Do I need to colour 6s and 7s? I don't think I know a lot about them yet. That's the trouble. So 1 is in one of those two. We know that. I've marked it in yellow. 6. 6 is also in one of these. And 6 is therefore in one of these two. It can't be there by the knight's move. What can this be? Can't be 2, 9, 1, 3, 8. Or 6. So that's 4, 5 or 7. If it was 5 or 7, it would also be here. Oh, wow. I mean, you just keep making weird progress. We still haven't really used this bottom cell thermo at all. Okay, it looks like it's becoming about box 5 to me. 4 is in one of those two cells. One, 9, 2. So I've marked the possible cells for 4, 6, 3 and 8. 5 can't be in any of those. So it's in one of those 3. And 7, I don't know. I ruled it out of that from that triple. I wish I could do some disambiguating up above of one more thing. If I could disambiguate one more thing up here, I think I'd be actually in clover here. Oh, my only aunts and pronia. This is very difficult. What is going on now? Well, it's probably very difficult, or it's very easy and I'm being very dumb. And both of these are possible. Or not very easy, but I'm just not spotting some very relevant possibility that can be ruled out by a knight's move very quickly. That often does happen. At least I haven't forgotten the knight's move constraint in this puzzle. But that is a small blessing when I am stuck. So, if that was a 7, 7 couldn't sit in either of those places, so that would be 7. Ooh, 7 would have to be here, because it couldn't be there. Then 7 would be in one of those two. It's quite tight, but it's not actually fully eliminated. Oh, am I really just missing some obvious thing? What number? What number is shouting at me and saying I can be disambiguated instantly, you flippin' numpty? Do I actually have to do something detailed again? I mean, there is a possibility that that's true. Okay, let's have a look at this thermo. Can't have a 4 or a 6 on, and that is frankly very scant information. I suppose that can't be any of those cells, so that's not 2, 4, 9 or 6. It's also not 1, so that's 3, 5, 7 or 8. This has to be bigger and can't be 4, 5, 7, 8 or 9. This is smaller than 8 and can't be 6 or 4, and that is a little unexciting, frankly. Is there something going on with this 4, 6, 7 that I can't see? And that. So if that was 4, that would be 4. That would be 4. One of those would be 4. One of those would be 4. And it doesn't advance me at all. Oh, come on, Mark. Something happening here. Something wants to get done. Nine in this row is in one of those 3. And it's in one of those two. If it was there, it would have to be here. Oh, that's interesting. 9 is in one of those three, and it's definitely in one of those two cells. If it was in that cell, it couldn't be in either of those, so it would have to be here. So it is either here or here. So 9 being in one of those two translates to 9 being in one of those two, and now 9 is not in those cells. 9 in this box is in one of those two, and therefore this is not a 9. Let's get rid of the colouring. So now we've got a little 2 by 2 containing 9s, and then one here that will be disambiguated by the 2 by 2. But that's... I don't really quite know how that's happened, and maybe it doesn't do much, but 9 is now in one of those two cells. I mean, is that the sort of thing I ought to be able to do a bit more of? Feels really weird. I don't know. I mean, I think it was an oddity of how 9 had got left in these. Oh, well, okay, I'm going to have a look at this cell. Now that can't be a 9. It can't be 1, 2 or 3 in the column. It can't be 4 because 4's in one of those places. It can't be 8 because they both see it as well. That's weird. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 all ruled out. So 5, 6 or 7. That's quite interesting. It's not conclusive. 5 is in one of those cells. So if that was a 5, that's 5. I don't know. That's not getting anything done either. Bother, bother, bother. What about this? 8, 9, 2, 5, 1. It can't be... Oh, it can't be 4 either. 3, 6 or 7 is just restricted enough for me to think it's worth marking. If it was 3 or 7... it can't be 7, because that would put a 7 here in that box. And that would rule 7 out of both of those cells. 1 by knight's move, 1 directly. So that is 3 or 6. Doesn't do the same if it's 6, does it? It puts a 6 there. That puts a 6 here. Oh, hang on. This does the same, doesn't it? If that's a 7... No, this doesn't do the same. That makes that a 7, and that's fine. That leaves this to be a 7, and that's all right. Oh, bother. And maybe this can't be a 7. Let's try it that way around. If that's a 7, there's no 7 in either of those. So that's a 7. In the central row, that's a 7. Then that's a 7. One of those two. Okay, how about if that's a 6? Then this has to be a 3. These are an interesting connection to me. If that's a 3, that's a 3. I'm missing some connection between these. If Not just those. Somewhere around here I'm missing some connection. 2, 9, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is in one of those. I've known that for ages. That means that 8 is not in either of those or any of those. So 8 ends up being somewhere in box 8 down there. Where can 8 be in this row? It could be here, annoyingly. Or either of those. And that doesn't resolve anything either. Oh, I'm getting bogged down now. If you really are looking at something that's been obvious for ages, all I can do is be humble about it. There's a 1 in one of those 3, isn't there? I hadn't really marked that in. 1, 2, 8, 9. So some of these are becoming quite constrained, even down as far as box 8. It must be this thermo, mustn't it? I just need to find something. Resisted colouring, 6s and 7s. Maybe that's just being foolish. But I just don't think they're quite doing enough. Or is it this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 group? Only 2 positions for 3 in this row feels quite significant. Feels like I could, if I had the brains, get one of them removed. I have done all the arrows, haven't I? I have. There's nothing left on those. Oh, that 5's looking at that cell, which can't be a 5. That's interesting. If that was a 4, that would be a 4. I've got 4s there and there. No, that's frustrating. 4 there would put a 4 in one of those positions. No, I don't think 4s are the key. Oh look, I've now got a 6, 7 pair both looking at that cell. Maybe 4s are the key. That is a 4. Good grief. You take, so that makes the central cell a 6. How long has that been sitting there for? Numpty, numpty, numpty man. This one is not coloured. That is 6 or 7. I'm not colouring 6. Oh, that's not a 4 now. It is 4s. And I'm just slow. Oh, if you've been looking at that 6, 7 pair looking at that cell forever, then you hate me and I live with that opprobrium. Right, 4 there. Okay, we do get a 4 in one of those cells. Let's see if this has done anything. We've got a 6, 7 pair there looking at that. So that's a 5. What has this done with that 3, 7 pair? Oh, that's a 3, because we reduced it to 6 or 3 before. That places 3 here. That makes that 7. That looks at that cell. Here we go round the mulberry bush. That's a 7. None of those are 7. Oh, I can't finish them. They don't have... They are a 5, 7 pair now. That's a 4, therefore. These are 8, 5 and 7, but which can't be which? That can't be 5, that can't be 8, and this could be either. 5, 7, 8, 2, 9, 4. These are 1, 3, 6, but that one has to be a 1 because it sees a 3, 6 pair. That is a 3, 6 pair. The 1 is fully yellow. Those are not yellow. There is a 1 there somewhere. There is also a 1 in one of those 2, not there, so they can be partly yellow. There's this 1, 5. Ah, there's a 5 X-wing. That means 5 is not on the thermo. Ah, there's a 5, 7 pair looking at that cell, so that is not 7. What else is going on in this column? Maybe not anymore. Wow, I mean, when it starts to unwind, it happens so fast, and then I probably just fall behind. This is a 4, 8, 9 triple. Let's get rid of all the markings. That can't be a 9. So they're all looking at that cell, not very interesting. This is 3, 6 or 7. Oh, 3 and 6 are both looking at this cell, so that's 1 or 5. I wonder which. Right, let's just keep going. That was a flurry of activity. I don't think this 6-7 pair can be resolved yet. Even when I do that, it won't be able to be. The 1-5 weirdly isn't resolved because this can still be a 1. That would put 1s in those positions and there. So we're not done yet. I suspect not by a long chalk. Oh, there are some interesting things though. Look, this 2, 3, 5, 7, they all see both of these cells. So this is 6, 8 or 9. This is not a 1 also. 4, 6, 8 or 9. Maybe that doesn't actually operate much. Again, 3, 6, 7, 2 all see both of those, but neither of them can be 3, 6, 7 or 2 at the moment anyway, so maybe I'm pipe dreaming that this might actually help. Down here, what was it? 3, 1, 6, 5. None of those can be 4, 9, 2, 7, 8, 1, 3, 6, 5. None of them can be here because all of those cells see this cell. So this is 2 or 7. That's quite limited. I was about to say that means 7 can't be in these cells, but it doesn't mean that at all. So I will pipe down that 3, 6 pair that rules out 3 and 6 from those. Is it row 8 now? Is that getting interesting somewhere? Not really. Wow, it's so not done. That's fascinating. That's become 8 or 9. It's the thermo. The thermo might well be the key to everything else in this puzzle. How would that be 3? If that was 3, that would be 8, and that would be 9. That would be 2. Seven can't be in any of those. Oh, 5 must be in one of these. I've only just noticed. Maybe I worked that out before and didn't really see the impact. That does mean that can't be a 5 for what it's worth, which is very little. I have a feeling 5's going to end up being there. But we don't go on feelings, we go on logic in this game. Gosh, this has taken a while, hasn't it? 9, 5, 2, 3. So that can't be 9. I shouldn't have left that in the cell. 1, 4, 6, 8 or 7. There's possibilities here. I'm missing something again. Yes, I am. Look, that 3 is looking across there. Oh, just the blinking Knight's move. Right, 1, 5 and 6 in the first column. 2, 3 and 7 in the next. 4, 8 and 9 there. What, has that done anything? Probably not. This can't be 6. And couldn't have been before. Just... it's so annoying if you actually spot something finally and doesn't do any good. Whatever that is, well, no, that's not true. If it's 8, then it might well be 8. Then there'd be an 8 in one of these. Spent some time considering if that could be an 8, and it looks like it's all right. Oh, come on. 3s. There's a 3 in one of those, but I already knew that couldn't be 3. Also can't be 2 or 7. Oh, come on, we're so close now. 4, 8 and 9 here. So either 4 or 8 is in one of those. Definitely. Maybe both of them. And if it was both of them, that would keep 4 and 8 out of there. That would put 4 here and 8 there. Oh, goodness, I don't know what's going on. So frustrating. 6 is looking at that cell, so that's 5 or 7. Whatever it is has to be there, because that sees those two. Then it's in one of those. I don't think that's going anywhere as a deduction. If it was 5, if this purple was 5, 5 in column 7 would be there. If it was 5, 5 is blue in some incarnations in this puzzle. That would be 5. All looks feasible, annoyingly. What about if it was 7 then? One of those two. Ooh, 7 would have to be there. 7 would have to be there. The old thermo would be 7, 8, 9. 2, 5, 6, 4, 1, 3 up the rest of the column. Looks like that does work. That's so annoying. I want something to not work so I can actually break through finally. Oh, I mean, we're so close here. If that was a 3, that would be an 8, that would be a 9. If that was a 7, well, if it was an 8, that would be a 9 as well. But if that was a 7, can that be an 8? 5, 3, 1, 2 at the bottom, 9 there. I think it can. That's rather irritating. Okay, if that was a 7, purple would be a 5. We'd have a 5 here. And there, and there. There, and there, and there. And there. Ah! Break, you wretched puzzle. Those are from 4, 8, 6, 9. They don't quite form a quadruple. That is a 2, 3, 5, 7 quadruple, which I hadn't noticed. And all that's telling me is that one of those is a 9, which I knew already. Suppose 4 has to be in one of these 3. 4 having to be in one of those 3 and one of those 3 means that it must be in one of those and therefore in one of those. So now 4 can't be in these cells. Ah! 4 is in one of those, so 4 also can't be in those, or those, so 4 is down here at the bottom in one of those two. That can't be 4, that can't be 4. Four's in a little 2x2 of its own here, and then an X-wing here. Neither of those touch each other, and the trail runs cold instantly. Ah! But this has now become 8 or 9, and that, if that was a no, if it was an 8, it keeps 8 out of those cells. That's actually not interesting anymore. If it's a 9, that's a 9. Then that's a 9 and that's a 9, and 9's not on the thermo. If it's an 8, then one of those is 8. But I don't know which one. So I was saying if it's a 9, that's a 9, and 9's not on the thermo. If that's an 8, one of those is 8, but so is one of those, and now one of the ones in column 6 must see that. So whatever that is different from the top of the thermo. And that'll do, because they're both looking at that cell, and therefore that can't be 8 or 9 and is a 4. My goodness, that is a complicated deduction. Right, that's a 4, that's not. That's not. We've got an 8-9 pair here. Is that? Come on, do something. Do something, you wretched deductions. We've got a 9. Oh, I know I've got a 9 there somewhere. Come on. Give me a break. How can this still be so complicated, Cam? I know, you'll be writing about the things I'm missing. I understand that. Just have to live with it. Just have to keep trying to find what's going on here. Oh, I mean, that was a great deduction. No, those are different. Let's find new colours. Let's get rid of blue for the 5s. Not interested anymore. Let's have blue and grey, and they're different. I mean, I could see they saw that cell. They also see all of these cells, which cannot be 8 or 9. That one could never have been 8 or 9. They're the only cells it couldn't be. Those can't be 8. So 8 is definitely somewhere here. Not interested. Oh, 8. 8 is not in any of these cells, maybe. Can 8 be there? No, because those cells are seeing that cell. So 8 in this row is in one of these two. No, it's not. It's in one of these two. That's a 9-8 pair. Good grief. So that's not a 5, potentially. This is a 9-8 pair. What's that doing? It's stopping this being an 8, which stops this being a 7 on the thermo. Come on, do something else, you 9-8 pair. You're so hard won. That is now 3 or 7. If it's a 7, 5, 1... Don't know. If it's a 3, that's an 8, then that's a 9. Eight, 9 pair. Come on, 8-9 pair. 8-9 pair there. Yeah, I'd marked these as 8 long ago, and I hadn't used it with that pair that I then got. 8-9 pair. Oh, come on. That can't be 5 or 7, or 8-9, or 4. That still leaves too many wretched possibilities. I'm going to have to take a break, actually, owing to cooking. Bother. I'll be back. Right, well, that was lunch overcooked, which is clearly Cam's fault. Although, you might say it's the slow solver's fault, really. Now, I just got this 8-9 pair. Why is that not helping? I say just. I mean, that was a while ago, I think. There's an 8 up there as well. There's this 6-7 pair. Oh, look. I mean, thank goodness you go away for a bit and you see 7 looking at that cell. That's going to do something, I reckon. 5-7. It does this 1-5. Let's get the colouring right. there. Now, not 1 at the beginning of the thermo, that doesn't do anything. 1, 4, 6, 5, okay, they're from 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. 5, 1. 1 somewhere over here that isn't constrained by a knight's move. 7, hang on, 7, 7, 7 is now in one of those 2 cells because it can't be there for some reason. What's the oh yes, because of that. In fact, 7 is there on the thermo, which does nothing for the other ends of the thermo, but it makes this a 2. Oh, we were very nearly there. 3, 7 pair, that is now a 3. Oops, 3. There's a 2, 5, 7 triple, isn't there? Yes. Now, 3 is in one of those cells. That's not helpful. Come on, what about this row? Those can't be from 8 or 9. They're from 1, 5, 6. That's a triple. So this is an 8, 9 pair. That's not a 6. What does that tell us about 6, which cannot be in those cells? It tells us 6 is in one of those 2 in box 8. It's not there. It's here in box 7. It's in one of those 2 cells. Oh, that can't be a 1, obviously, because of that. We're down to a 1, 5 pair there. Now, 6 was over on the left side. 8, 9 are looking at those cells. We've got that 8, 9 pair. One of these is a 6. I've just worked that out. 8, 9, 7. There's a 6 there. 5 is in one of those 2. I knew that. Ah, 7 is looking at the purple cell, which is 5. Which had to go here, I think. Yes, that can't be a 5. I could have done that. That is now a 4. That's the more important point. I think that is a 5. Yes, it is. That's not a 4. That's a 4. 9 and 2. 3 there. 8 there. 6 and 3. 9, 8. Got a 1, 2, 6 triple down the side. But I must be finishing. 3 and 7 are done. Let's colour, what is it? The 2 we're colouring there, not the 7. Let's get rid of that colouring on the 9. Let's sort this out as well. That is now only red, that is only green, and that is only orange. There we go. None of those are looking by knight's move here. 9 is looking by knight's move there. 8 there, which doesn't need to be blue anymore. 9 has to be here in this box. That is ruled out by this. Yeah, has to be there. 9, which is red. Yeah, 8 doesn't deserve a colour. It's naughty. Now, these can't be 5. That's a 2, 7 pair. This must be a 1, 6 pair. We must know where the 1 is, don't we? No, we know where the 6 is. 1 there, 6 there. That's 2. That's 1, that's 6, that's 1, that's 5. Okay, 5 doesn't get a colour. All the 1s go yellow. I think it's time to get rid of the colouring on those 5s. So we're only colouring red, yellow, green and orange, which I've forgotten to keep going completely. There we go. We need a couple more greens. That's green, so that must be green. And that green one is a 2. That's a 7. This is a 7. That's an 8. 2 more cells to go. 7 and a 6. And there we go. Now, you see the time, including my time for eating lunch and serving it. And indeed finishing off the cooking. So a bit around an hour, something around an hour, maybe a little longer. That was quite tough, and I sense I shouldn't have made it that difficult. It's fantastic. The setup, though, of this bow tie or butterfly. What does farfalle mean? I assumed it meant bow tie, because that's what they're often called. farfalle pasta in English, but maybe it's a butterfly. Don't know. Sorry, my Italian not up to it there. But thank you so much to Cam for creating that. And if you followed me all the way through it, my apologies and thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.